The Trump transition continues as the president-elect vets more candidates. We will look at who's hot, who's not, who's been visiting Trump Tower today. Then we're going to speak with the media columnist from the Washington Post about the growth of fake news and just how big an issue it's really become. Also, who actually gets the blame for Hillary Clinton's loss? Well, Democrats, they're taking a tough look in the mirror, and some are questioning whether they got the right leaders in place, including the woman on your screen, Nancy Pelosi. Should she continue to lead them in Congress? Evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I am Richard French. Thank you so much for joining us this Monday night. Well, President-elect Trump, he has continued to work on filling out his cabinet, and he's been meeting with a whole lot of candidates over the past few days. One by one, they came to the Trump Tower to meet with President-elect Trump and his transition team. Some potentially being considered for cabinet positions, others consulting as the administration starts to take shape, and some of the meetings with former critics of Mr. Trump.
It's included a lot of his former presidential rivals, some of the so-called never-Trumpers, but I think they all love America, and they're all looking forward to having a say in what happens next.
Among the visitors, former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown.
We obviously spoke about my passion and his passion, which are veterans and veterans issues.
He said he expects to hear if he's offered a cabinet post after Thanksgiving. The governor of Oklahoma, Mary Fallin, said no job offer was made.
Initial meeting to discuss a wide range of topics.
And a Democratic Congresswoman, Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, she shied away from the press but released a statement after a meeting saying, quote, "I believe that we can disagree, even strongly, but still come together on issues that matter to the American people." And today, his senior advisor defended one of those meetings that Mr. Trump took the days following the election with business partners from India.
I'm very confident he's not breaking any laws. He has many lawyers, accountants, and advisors who tell him what he must do.
Not breaking any laws. All right, time now for a special commentary. You know, sometimes you just want to get away from it all. Well, this past weekend, I left the kids with my parents, and the wife and I escaped for a weekend. And in no small hope here of avoiding, for just 2 days at least, the State of the Union and all things Trump. What I heard, however, was neither the unending kvetching I expected or the indifference that, frankly, I craved. Instead, what I heard was even worse: delusion. Now, to hear those strangers talk, the Trump from the past 18 months was just a figment of their imagination. You see, it was all an act. He's really not the racist, misogynist scam artist who trafficked in lies and necessitated a national shower to wash off the stink of a campaign that brought out the worst elements in an American for basically a generation. Now, hate crimes, they're up coast to coast, all too often, with the offender referencing the president-elect. Now, the Donald's reaction when asked by 60 Minutes, "Stop it." Not exactly profiles in courage. When he's not tweeting, complaining about Saturday Night Live or the cast of Hamilton or settling lawsuits for defrauding students for a sham Trump U, he is stoking growing worries about real conflicts of interest. What does it tell you when nobody puts it past the first family in waiting to put their financial interests before the country's? Just think about that. We are still in the unprecedented no man's land, where without any tax returns, any clue about what's believed to be tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in personal or corporate debt that he owes to foreign banks, the family already willing to trade the office of the presidency to either hawk jewelry and even leverage access, and we should give the guy the benefit of the doubt that all will be fine come January 20th? And how about the people that he chooses to surround himself with? Steve Bannon, a white nationalist? Senator Sessions, who I'll remind you was once turned down for a judgeship because of racially insensitive statements, he's now in line to be America's top law enforcement official. How about military leaders being considered who are on record as being critical of quote-unquote multiculturalism? Or foreign policy voices who decry both the UN and even NATO? And by the way, anything to do with Rudy Giuliani, Sarah Palin, or Sheriff Arpaio. Now, maybe I've gotten too jaded. Or do any of you legitimately worry that if we do a major infrastructure initiative in America, and I'm for one, that somehow, some way, the Donald's going to try and find some of that business to end up in the pockets of friend or family? Tell me exactly how the swamp is being drained again as Trump surrounded himself with more lobbyists than even Washington's used to seeing? And why do I have deep worries that the bromance between Trump and Putin has agendas that we have no idea what's really going on? And how come I worry that when adversity will strike, and it will, that Trump's instincts will be to divide instead of unite? So no, I share no of the rosy delusions that this episode of The Apprentice will end any different than a campaign that has made reality TV look like PBS. Glad I got that off my chest. All right, coming up next here. Fake news is a very real problem. We will take a look at how prevalent it's really become and how dangerous it can be. The media columnist from the Washington Post, she'll join me next.